Alright, so she's windier than heck out here today, so I got the DJI mic on. And I'm tightening these bolts up with the Ingersoll because I think it puts out plenty enough torque for this job. So I don't have a 41 millimeter impact socket, but 1 5/8 fits 41 millimeter perfectly. So let's see what we can do. Get these tightened up. See if we strip them out or not. Tightened it right up. Doing an excellent job. That beats welding them holes up, tell you what. Okay, got one more up here to do, right here. Taunt. Oh boy, that pipe's tight. Woo! But the bolt still goes in and out, which is what I wanted. But it's pulled that pipe up tight. These are loose still, except for that one. He's tight. But the bolts come in and out. So what I'm going to do is take the bolts out, put them in the other way temporarily, tighten the other side, then pull the bolts back out. Well, actually, I think I'm going to put them with the nuts on the outside so I can see them. So I can see if they come loose or whatever. So this will have a hard flat on that side and this side. So I'll probably have a little thread sticking out. But you can't get to these and tighten them unless you take the bolt out, push it in. Those will be the last thing to get tightened up. So, take this one out, put him back in this way, like that. There he is. So all I got to do is push him back like that, enough to get the socket on. There we go. That one's in. Okay, let's see. Take this one out. That. This one out. Okay, why is that not going back in? Don't know. There we go. Okay, it's through. All right. So now it's time to tighten all these buggers. So I only got one metric one on this side. Do him first. Put the socket over here before I lose him. There's that one. Oh, great. Guess what? That one's gonna strip. I'd be threading another metric hole in that one, I'll bet. Didn't want that. Dadgummit. So I don't know if I can get the tap in, take this out. No, it wasn't that one. It's this one. If I can get the tap in there and thread it, I got one more 27 mil bolt I could put in there. I'm gonna take this one back out, see if I can tap it. Dadgummit. Which I don't know if I can or not. I do the best I can. Yeah, pulled the threads off of her. That one's no good now. Brand new bolt. So I'm gonna go get the tap, see what we can do. All right, so the question is can I do this? Can I get this tap in there? And it looks quite questionable on account of the hole. I may have to do some grinding or something to get it to start in there straight, because yeah, it's like on a 45. I'm gonna have to probably grind a little on that one side. That's just not gonna work. So probably have to get the air out here. I'll show you what I got. If you can see in there, right there is where the tap's holding up. So I need to get something to grind that off, and then I can go down in there and get her tapped. It's gonna be a pain, but Jeff wins, I promise you. All right, so she's bolted down. All these are tightened up tight. That hole had the thread for the 27 mil bolt. That hammered down good and tight with the old shinger saw. And this side's tight. All these bolts are tight, so this has got to get welded in here. You have to weld these. All the guards are going to get welded here, and then I'll probably run a bead inside here on them. I hope I never ever have to take these apart, ever. Then I got to weld this together and then cut a piece and weld inside here to stiffen all that up. And then I'm ready to tip it up, get the front idler out, and get that carrier bracket off. I know there's 2 bolts on the outside that are broke, so probably drill them out, drill a hole in it and torch them out or air arc them. Put new bolts in there. Oh, I see I got a crack here. That needs fixed. Put something on it. Should have done that probably before I tightened it up, but I don't care. Just don't care. It's Sunday, and I really don't want to work. I really don't. So I'm gonna clean up my crap and call it a day. Okay, good sunshiny, cold morning. We had frost this morning, so I'm dressed up like a bear. So I took the battery out of the Detroit galleon, put it in the International galleon. As she fired up really good, that battery I had in there just wouldn't give it the cranking speed. So I got the other one over here, and that's probably where I'm going to start disassembling it. One of the reasons I don't want to use it is I want to show you the difference in the tires. See, these are like 20 ply, and I can carry a massive amount of weight on them. And I think these are like only 14 ply, and you can see how squishy they are without really any load on them. Oh man. All right, so the other day I brought it over here and I hooked a strap to the swing lever, and I sat and I rotated it around, and there's 3 teeth, 1, 2, 3 on the very front that are tore clear off. So a lot of guys were asking if this was a 53 or a 71. And Luke Strasser explained that. He said if your fuel pump and your governor's on the same side, and then there's no liner, the port boxes, it's a 53. So I read through that up there. Oh, that's what another thing he said. If it has bolts through the edge, it's a 53. Is that correct, Luke? If it goes down through the middle, it's a 71. Anyway, she's a good running little motor, but my crane would outrun this hands down. I got like a 5-speed transmission in it, and then the converter, it will haul the mail. This one crawls around so slow. Just a whole different setup. Anyway, so what I'm doing this morning is I'm going to be welding these guards on. I need to get this done. So my goal is by the end of the day, I'll have the outboard bearing on the cat, I'll adjust it up, and possibly be putting a track frame on. But the one thing I don't know about is, so there's a bolt there and one there, and it holds this down, and then the tray that all the shock absorbing stuff sits for the equalizer bar. And these bolts are obviously broke because when I went to pick up the track frame, I had the chain around this roller and this really opened up. So I got to get all this off when I pull the front idler out and get the bolts out and replace them, bolt it back down, and then it'll be ready to go on. So it may, by the end of the day, I'm hoping that I'm really close to having her ready to go on. So I've wire brushed these and I tipped it up this way so I get some good penetration. I don't like doing things sideways and uphill. Jake's busy today, so he can't be here. He'd probably go get the big wire gun out and do all this, but once I get this side done, I'm gonna tip it back the other way and do the other side. And one thing that's going to take a little while is I got to weld this up and then cut a piece to go in here and fix this hole. You don't want something to get in there and break that collar. So anyway, I'm not working today, so I've got time to do all this. So let's get the welder fired up and go to welding. Oh yeah, it's like riding a bicycle. Uh-oh, spoke too soon. I'm going to go around the corner here a little too with this. All right, let's review. So this is where I started. Kind of went off to the Joneses there. Went and got new glasses. Well, started doing better. Okay, you got some porosity there. That one's not bad. Got a little there. I'll run one more bead there. But that's what I'm filling. All right, I'll bring you back when I'm done. Okay, we're gonna get this thing rolled over here. How's that? That's got plenty of tilt on her. Yeah, kind of cut it on that block. Now I'll have to lift that up to get the block out, finish turning it around. Oh well. So I got that other side all welded on. And then I got this stitched up in there. But I need to get in and down through here. I may have to torch that out a little bit first. But this is all in position. That'll weld really good. So, moving right along, I tell you what. All right, so I've got everything welded on this side. Had to cut a piece to go in there to fix that. Anyway, I ran out of the 7018 Lincoln, so I went and got a box of Blue Demon. That's Blue Demon. Welds pretty dang good, lays a good bead. I'm picking up the welding thing again. It's like riding a bicycle. Every time you fall down, that bar hits you in the nuts. So, I am ready to tip her up. Tip her up flat. And yeah, it was sitting on that block the whole time I was under there. And yes, it was scaring me. had my feet away from it. Of course, you'd never move fast enough, it'd come down and get you. All right, so I had to call Jake for some instructions on the Plas torch because last time I burned it up. I screwed up the end. It cost me $1,000 by the time I was done buying a little piece that goes in the end there. That's just utterly ridiculous. But I made sure this time I called him and that I had the right electrode and the cup collar on. So I didn't ruin it again. I got to take these off, undo these, undo that one, take these off. Once you get all that crap off, undo these two big bolts. Takes an 1 7/8 socket, and you can pull this idler out. So if you notice, I've still got water coming out of here. So this roller was rebuilt, welded up. And when you weld them, so there's braces in there this way, so you got to poke a hole between every one of those, because like that, if there was water or anything in there, liquid, and you started welding this, the thing would explode because of the steam pressure. So you just take a torch and you blow holes in it. Make sure that you get one between every brace inside there. I've never seen the inside of one, but there's lots of holes that were cut in it. Can't really see them anymore. God, it even looks like they welded this. Huh. So anyway, those are still good idlers. They could be probably welded up again, I assume. Okay, so Mike Jordan out of Texas made me this tool. Even welded JA and painted it black in there. So this is made to lift idlers off. So I've got all this unbolted. So we're going to use this because Mike knew that this day would come. So this is awesome. I'll just pick the whole thing up, set her back down where it's even. Yeah, that should come out. Should. There we go. There we go. Voila. You get it just right, comes right out. So now I gotta get these off. That's kind of a puzzle piece. Come on. One. Okay. Little shafts can turn. Oh, come on. Holla. It's a wrecking ball. That tool works awesome, Mike. That is awesome. Okay, so now got to get that nut out. So I was going to show you. I got all 4 bolts were in there, but there's no threads left on that one. So these are our 7/8 bolts. So we might be going 1 inch on those. But in order to get to the holes and clean them out, redo them, this has got to come out of there. And even if I take this off, it's not going to slide up through here, and you can't pull it out this way. So I'm probably going to have to undo the bolts here, take the whole assembly off. So that means I need to get a probably 1.125" and take all those bolts and nuts out. Not what I wanted to do, but I got to do it. So let's do that. It got cloudy, windy, cold, really cold. It is cold, cold, cold. So I got all this stuff off. Those are 7/8 holes. I ran a tap down through there. The tap fits good and snug. I think the bolts are just gut shot. So I ordered some new bolts. They better be in the call window tonight or in the morning when Matt swings by, because I'll have him come by and get them. And then I'll be able to bolt all this back together and get the new idler in. So this is the rod that pushes on that, and there's the grease. I'm just gonna leave it. It'll get dirt all over it, but I'll dig that grease out of there, because that's got to go in anyway to slack the track so I can get the new ones hooked up. So I think this day's gut shot. I'll call it a day, and then tomorrow I get those bolts. I'll be able to put it back together if they'll tighten up. Now if they won't, I'll just drill them out and go 1 inch, which means I have to drill those holes, tap them, then I have to drill 4 holes in this, 4 holes in that to accommodate 1 inch bolts. Not my favorite thing to do, but I gotta do it. Gotta do it. So I had that tool that Mike made me in the van trailer, had to get that out. That's an awesome tool, Mike. That's gonna come in handy for this job. So I'll be able to pick one of those up off of the pallet and get it over here. So there's two settings on these idlers. If you turn them around, if you put them in like that, that's for like pulling scrapers, or you don't have a blade on it. You see how the block's down here and the shaft's up here. But for dozing operations, you want that the other way around. You're going to want to install it like this side down. That puts your idler down. So somebody had commented it looked like I had my rollers and front idlers in the up position. No. Generally, dozers are always put with the idler in the down position for dozing, because you want that support up there. Otherwise, it does the rocking chair thing. So, I got some bolt holes to fix. I don't know. I think that bolt's broke off in there. That's a blind hole. So that'd be a bear to get that one out. That one needs to come out. And I don't know what's going on here. That one's probably broke off. So all I can do with these is drill them out. And that's gonna suck. But one other thing I gotta do is, this is all bent and broken, so I have to get the rosebud and heat it up, straighten it back up and weld it down good. So we're moving along. I said we'd be done with this by the end of the day, but I didn't know what I'd find when I got all that apart, and I gotta have new bolts. So I get that fixed. This is done. Done. I need to take my track guards and or my roller guards, track frame guards, covers, and I need to straighten those up. They're kind of bent. You get a rock between the blade push arm and the track frame, raise the blade up, and that rock comes with it. Boy, it'll just mash those covers to death. So we'll get that done. We'll get her fixed. Hopefully by tomorrow I've got that together. I can pack it over there to the cat. Hopefully the weather cooperates. I need it. No wind. I need a nice day to put those duocone seals and that outboard bearing retainer on there and get that all adjusted up while it's calm. I don't want dirt in there.